Well, it looks like all the rumors are true. All the leaks, all the hearsay is absolutely true because PlayStation just came out and revealed the PlayStation 5 Slim. And we're going to get into the pricing, the details, and if you should pick this console up. But before we do, please do me a massive favor. If you're new to the channel, smash that thumbs up button. It helps so much with the algorithm. And subscribe for all future content here on the channel. So let's talk about the PlayStation 5 Slim, which is now going to replace the current model. Should you pick this thing up? What is so special about it other than the fact that it is actually smaller, which is a positive, by the way. A smaller console is a positive. God knows the PlayStation 5 is a massive behemoth of a console. Like, this thing is just, oh my, it's really big, guys. That's what she said. The PlayStation 5 Slim is currently going to be taking place this holiday season, is the release date from what I understand. Go over and look at the actual pictures and the specs of it. You know, it does look like a much slicker design, which is really good. It's really positive. It still has that same shape, that same awkward type shape. I'm not the biggest fan of the PlayStation 5 shape and design of the console, but you can tell that it's much slimmer. You can see an eject button over by the actual disk drive, which I very much appreciate. Thank you so much for doing that, Sony. Thank you, because sometimes it's really hard to eject my games out of this thing. Like, I'm pressing all kinds of buttons, it shuts up my console off. I'm like, oh my god, can I just get an eject button next to the disk drive so I know which button I'm pressing? So thank you, Sony, so much for that. So we're getting a disk drive, which is attached to the slimmer model, the digital model. So that is something that was heavily rumored, was we were going to get a detachable disk drive that was going to go to the digital model. Now, when this console was first being rumored, the rumor was that the console was going to be all digital with an option to get a disk drive. I didn't know there was going to be two different slim models where one would be disk drive, one would be non-disk drive, and you could add a disk drive to it. That wasn't what the rumors originally were saying, that there was going to be one model with the option to get the disk drive. Apparently, there is going to be two different models for the console. So when we look at it, we see the disk drive is going to be detachable, but let's get into the actual pricings of this. Is this thing going to be any cheaper? Because in the past, when we used to get slimmer models, the prices used to go down dramatically, like $50, $100. Every time we had like the PlayStation 2 to the PlayStation 2 Slim, it was cheaper. PS3 to the PS3 Slim, it was cheaper. Even Microsoft and the Xbox did the same thing with the Xbox 360. It was a cheaper price point. Xbox One with the Xbox One S, it was a much cheaper price point. So what's the pricing going to be for this new slimmer PS5? Well, when we look at it right here, it looks like the PS5, the one with the disk drive, is going to stay $499 US, which is going to be $500 here in the US. And the digital version is actually going to go up in price, which kind of baffles me, right? Because right now you can buy the digital version for $399. You can buy the digital PlayStation version, PlayStation 5, for $399, $400, which is a very great and competitive price. But it looks like we're getting a slimmer model. They're raising the price by 50, and it doesn't come with the disk drive because the disk drive is actually sold separately. So if we go up here and look, you can actually see that the disk drive is going to cost $80 here in the United States. So you're taking something that's now $450 and you're adding an extra $80 to it. It's actually going to cost you more to buy the digital version with the disk drive than it would to actually just buy the one with the actual disk drive already in it, which to be honest, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Why would I buy the digital version, then buy an $80 attachment to put discs in it, which is going to cost me roughly $30 more at the end of the day? So I can either buy the PlayStation 5 Slim at the price of $500, or I can buy the digital for $450 with an additional $80, which is going to end up bringing it to $530, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Now, I don't know why somebody would do this. Maybe they would just want to buy the digital version, you know, because it's cheaper, and then maybe down the line buy the disc drive separately for some reason. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me why Sony would do this. Why did they increase the price of the digital version by $50? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me either. It just, I can't baffle the reason why Sony would do something like this. even if they would have kept the price at $400, add in the $80 disc drive, will still bring it to $480. For an extra $20, you could just buy the standard PS5 with the disc drive for $500. So I don't understand the whole pricing and why they decided to go with that price point. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Why the increase in the digital version and why $80 for the disc drive? And maybe if they would have, brought it to $450 and then had the disc drive up to $50, that would make a lot of sense to me, because if they priced it at $450 and the disc drive was $50, well, you put those two numbers together, you get $500, which is what they're selling the standard disc version for. So why didn't they do that? It doesn't make any sense. But hey, to each their own. Now, when it comes to who's going to be picking this thing up, this is going to be for newcomers. There's no reason for people like me or people like you, if you're watching this, who already owns a PlayStation 5, to pick up this console, because you're not getting a power boost in any way. It's still going to have the same insides. However, it's probably going to be made with cheaper parts, because the one thing that happens in gaming is once a console is released, prices of these parts go down a lot. So it's probably going to be made for a much, much cheaper cost. They're probably going to get more profit for selling it at the same price. That's why in the past, we always saw these consoles, when the slimmer version came out, the prices were much cheaper, because the price to manufacture these consoles were much, much cheaper. But now, by them, keeping the price the same as the current model, so they're going to get more of a profit now. And I don't understand why the digital version is being priced at $450 and the disc drive at $80, when you could just buy the actual regular hard disk copy for $500. I don't understand why that is. So that's confusing to me. I think that's very anti-consumer, but it's sort of aligned with a lot of PlayStation practices lately. A lot of stuff has been very, very anti-consumer, in my opinion. But people are still going to go out and buy it. I think a majority of people today don't really care about the disc drive. And I think the few people that do care about the disc drive is just going to go pick up the version with the disc drive. But I think the majority of people are just going to stick with the digital, because we're going into a more digital era in gaming. But I don't think a lot of people are going to be buying that disc drive. So at the end of the day, I guess the pricing is kind of irrelevant. I just still feel like it's kind of shady to increase the price of the digital version by $50 when you can currently get the digital version right now, and they're going to have the same specs, same power, same hardware, and you're charging $50 more. I don't understand that, but that's just my thoughts on it, guys. I want to know what you guys think. Once again, if you're new to the channel, please do me a favor, smash that thumbs up and like button, and subscribe for all future content here in the channel. And until next time, as always, I am Robert Storms, and thank you so much for watching.